Hi guys, Gars here. Today we're bringing you my Templar tank healer build, the Protector. This prime role of this build is it can two-man most, if not all, the dungeons with a bit of practice. The other day I ran one of the dungeons with a guy that PvP build, sorry. And we managed to do it with only 3 deaths, so yeah, this sort of gives you an idea. Right, to run through the build, this is the unbuffed stats, not massively high on the recovery front, but there's ways around that, and I'll explain as we go through the build. The attribute distribution of the points. Running the Lords, think about maybe changing that to the Atronach for a bit more sustain. Werewolf doesn't matter. Don't run Vampire on this build. Yeah. Right, that's buffed. If we buff the stats up. Eat some food. Probably would use Tri-Stat. They're the buff stats for the tank healer. Right. So, down to the sets. The sets we're running are 5-piece Armor Master, Sword, Shield. The swords with Precised and the shields with Infused, with the max stam trait on it. The head and the shoulder are Engine Guardian. I haven't got best in trait stats on there, but ideally you want to have infused on the head and sturdy on the shoulder, and that's the same for all the big pieces infused and the shoulder pieces sturdy. The footman pieces, you're running a 5-piece footman, and that's on the chest and the legs. It's fairly expensive, the footman, at the moment. Don't know why. I guess because not many people are running VDSA. And then on the necks and rings, you were having reduced the cost of blocking. Healthy footman. As you can see, the reason why I use footman is to reduce the cost of blocking. An Armor Master. While you have an armor ability slotted, increase your max health by 5%, and when active an armor ability, you gain 5,000 physical and spell resistance for 10 seconds. And we're going to the bar to explain all this. So you've got your standard taunt and armor debuff. You have your blazing spear for a bit of dot and to supply magic, stamina, to your friendlies if they need it. That slot can change. You don't necessarily need to run that. You can run Power of the Light if you want to add reduce the target's armor resistance more. If you're in a sort of a shorter mob fight or boss fight, I would probably run Power of the Light over Blazing Spear. If you're in a bigger group as well, I would probably run Power of the Light. If you're running a boss fight with ads, I'd definitely run Power of the Light, because you can repent off the bodies when the DPS kill them. Also, it will give major sorcery to your allies, and also you can gain ultimate through activating it. Now I use Absorb Magicka here. You can use Harness Magicka, but I prefer Absorb Magic just for that extra sort of heal if needs be, and also it does reduce the cost of blocking again and increase the damage you can block, which helps a lot more, and it gives you a nice shield as well. Only against magic projectiles though, bear that in mind. All the passives you need, and then running Stalwart Guard. You run this especially if you're two-manning, because obviously you take 30% of the damage from your ally that you're bonded to. It also increases their crit damage by 12%, but you've got to make sure that they're close to you. Also, it allows you to have extra magicka recovery, which helps with the healing. The ultimate I use here is Remembrance, as sort of your main heal, and it allows you to have that sort of reduced, gets you to have that immunity that then allows the regen of your resources, which helps massively. So if you're starting to run low on resources, you just pop Remembrance. The other one I like to run as well is Reviving Barrier. If the dungeon is quite full on and they can't not have you moving about, it allows you to still to pop a hot heal over time, where Remembrance sort of locks you into position. On your back bar, I run, you would like to run is Channeled Focus for the extra magicka regen, and also gives you your Major Ward and Major Resolve. You don't need to stay in this, you can obviously move around it. You've got 8 seconds after leaving it, so just make sure you come back into it. The second taunt I use for taunting mobs at long range, or if you get knocked back, which quite often happens, I use Inner Rage, because obviously you want to use your stamina as well, but you can use either, there's no preference with it. Yeah, there's no sort of, it's whatever you prefer really on there. Obviously running Undaunted Metal helps. You can run this build without Undaunted Metal. Now comes to the part with the Armor Master, Shuffle. You really want to keep Shuffle up constantly. Oh yeah, sorry, the Armor Master's also light armor. Yeah, you want to keep Shuffle up at all times. It'll help you out as you're healing and on your resources. Shuffle's broken at the moment. It's giving more than 20% dodge chance. It's probably more up around 60-80% at the moment. They get you out of shit heal is the Breath of Life. Doesn't hit massively hard on this build because you're trying to use Remembrance as your heal. But yeah, if you it can help. Don't heal if you're above 60% health with Breath of Life, because you won't get anything for it. Because of the mending passive. Stalwart Guard again, because you need to double bar it. Another sort of choice, run Solar Prison for the reduced damage taken. Damage done by the enemies caught in it. It's got a powerful synergy as well. You can run Empowering Sweeps there if you want as a cheap ultimate. You could run Aggressive Warhorn in a bigger group, or Reviving Barrier on that bar with Remembrance as well. So you've got that sort of movement. I run Imperial just because of the high stamina and magicka. You could run Breton. Breton would work. Breton would be quite a good one with the spell resistance. Nord, but Nord you don't get hit with high enough damage really warrant to use Nord, but you can run Nord. Nord can be run. Red guard would work, but you'd struggle on the magicka side of it. Right, champion points. So with the build, because you've set your armor up as a tank, to get the healer side of it, you need to run healer champion points. And by doing that, we run 72 in Magician, 75 in Arcanist, and 30 in Shadow Ward. Now you can change the Arcanist if you want to, and put more points into Magician and Shadow Ward, because you're not going to be using massive amounts of magicka, and I probably will do that myself. 100 points into Blessed for that increased healing, and 67 into Elfborn, so when you do crit, because obviously Templars have that increased crit damage as well, you're going to be critting a lot more, about 23% more crit heal you're going to do, and a bit into Elemental Expert just to increase the damage or the heal. Don't run any in the Atronach, and don't run any in the Ritual. Don't run any in the Steed. 60 into Hardy and 60 into Elemental Defender for the extra protection. Also gives you Spell Absorption, Shield Expert. You obviously get Critical Leech as well, and Unchained. You run 57 points into Quick Recovery, which gives you Field Physician when you need to pick up them, pick players up. And also you give them Magicka Recovery when they come back in. If you're actually tactical enough, you can actually allow a player to die if they got low Magicka and then revive them, because you'll give them increased Magicka Recovery. I'll just quickly run through like a cycle of abilities that you need to use. Try not to sprint around massively as well, jogging, unless you're obviously speed running, because you do run out of stamina quite quickly. Just go up to these ads if no one's killed them. And they've killed them. Awesome. Oh, here we go. Grave Claw. Right, so you make sure you've got your food on, make sure you've got your pots, your taunt. Oh, awesome. Here we go, some whirlwinds. Right, you would taunt, you drop your rune, put your armour on, and then you can see the red thing around my feet, that's the Armour Master proccing. And then you would drop your spear, put Absorb Magicka on, and then just keep them. The idea as well is you want to, it's good practice to keep the mobs facing away from the DPS. That way, when they do their attacks, they're always going to be doing it, unless it's obviously AoE attacks, but any line or cone attacks are going to be away from everyone. And you're just going to want to be cycling your abilities, keeping them, try not to block too often, just trying to keep the ads contained. Just watching the DPS. You don't even need to be really looking at the ads, you know, as long as you're keeping the rotation up and making sure you can see that that cracked armor on their build, on your health bar, sorry. And you're just cycling through your repenting off the Engine Guardian. Just block, pot if you need, repent. Get out of the way of AoE, and you just that is generally the cycle. What are we doing? Let's speed it up now. You can do a bit of damage with your pierce armor as well on mobs. Just keeping that. Yeah, now repent. Try to repent through the battle as well. Don't just repent at the end, because people obviously need stamina through the fight. I I don't think I've missed anything, and that's it, guys. Thank you for watching.